As an INFP, you are not lazy. The problem is every idea feels urgent and it's hard to understand which ones to prioritize. And so I want to talk about how you can organize your life as an INFP when you have too many ideas and too many things going on. Hey, I'm Matt Sherman. I'm an INFP coach and hypnotist. I've worked with over 100 INFPs and I run a community that's mainly for INFPs as well, evolved.geekpsychology.com. You can check it out. I got a bunch of courses there too. So if this is helpful, then that will be helpful too. The first thing I want to talk about is the structure of our personality type. And I don't want to get too deep in the woods here, but I tend to do that. You have these four different characters, okay? You have the soul. This is a character within your mind, within your questing party of your mind. And then you also have the commander, okay? This is a crown down here. So the soul and the commander are on opposites, okay? They're two different characters with different desires, different approaches to life. And it makes things difficult. And these two characters have a strong hold in our mind. They play an important role within the narrative of our life, the story of our life. And the soul is about the conscience, it's about our values, it's about making decisions that resonate with us. Okay. We want to feel that this is the right thing to do. And so we have this emotional, feeling based, kinesthetic sense of when we want to do something, we do it, we pursue it. We want to do what excites us, what we feel like doing. And the commander down here is about, getting things done. It's about checking things off a list. It's about resource management. The commander is this logical thing that's like this character that's saying, no, do it this way, do it correctly, check off each box as you go along the way, and you will accomplish your goal. Look at the metrics, look at the step-by-step progress that you're making, measure it. And the soul is like, well, I just feel like doing it this way. I want to do it this way. This inspires me right now. That's the first issue, is these two different characters bounce back and forth. And so we are trying to organize our life through this aspirational desire. We want to have this ability to schedule things out, to organize them. And yet we also know that we might not be that happy if we were forced to do it. If this is the way that somebody said to do it and we didn't want to do it, then we're not going to do it that way, right? But we feel like we should, like we're supposed to, because that's the message that we get. Society tells us that this is the approach to life that is the best. Yeah. But we also have these two other characters that are really important. This is a light bulb. We have the explorer, and we also have the guardian. Okay, the explorer is about ideas, like lots and lots of ideas. The reason you don't have any lack of ideas usually is because the explorer sees something and then it springboards off from that into another thing. It goes from one idea to another idea to another to another to another, and they just keep branching out again and again and again to more different ideas. And that is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. That's why we're so curious and why we're so insightful in a lot of ways. But it never actually wants to close loops. It just doesn't want to finish anything. It always finds a new idea, a new connection. So it's hard to to stop ourselves when we start following one of these ideas, when we go down one of these pathways. Another aspect is freedom. It wants the desire. It has the desire to pursue new ideas every time they come up, to do new things, to change when something new and exciting comes about, something that appeals to the soul, to the heart. If we feel like doing this, and the explorer is like, yeah, and it could be great. There could be so many awesome things that happen from it. You never know all the different possibilities, all the different options. And it's really excitable. And then we have another character over here, the guardian. The guardian is about looking into the past, looking for consistency, for stability, for knowing what to expect, and knowing like what's going to happen, right? So with these characters here, one of the biggest issue is we have no way of ranking and prioritizing our ideas because the soul is feeling through everything. And then we get a whole flood of new ideas and new possibilities. And it's really hard to know what's what. And then the way that we make decisions is like we sift through our body, our parts, all of the different aspects of us of ourselves, and we want to make sure that the decision fully resonates with all of us. That it's the most solid possible decision that we can make. That's really hard when you get this immense flood of ideas and you're trying to filter all of these ideas in through our identity. So it causes us to get distracted and then nothing really gets done. Another issue here is that organization naturally comes from the guardian and the commander. It's looking into your past, looking into the expected way to do things. How should we do this? What does common sense tell us that we should do? What does authority tell us what we should do? What does the culmination of all experiences of humanity tell us is the right thing? That's the guardian. And then the commander is like, logically, how can I organize it? How can I structure it to get it done? And these two characters are we're uncertain about them. They're not a strength for us. They naturally go against our two strengths, which is the soul and the explorer in many ways. But they are a part of the team. So it becomes quite difficult because the explorer is saying, well, let's do this and let's keep our ideas open, all these new possibilities, all these portals, these doorways into fascinating new places. You never know what's going to happen if you follow an idea for long enough, right? Because that's going to lead to another thing and another thing. But the guardian is saying, there's no point in reinventing the wheel. Just do what you've always done. Do what we know works. And the commander is like, I second that. Let's just do that. So it's really hard, I'm getting to it. And the third one is there's a lot of guilt associated with this connection of the soul and the commander. Like we feel like we are not good. We feel that we are incapable, that we're broken, that we're flawed in some way because we can't just focus on one goal or one idea. And there's a lot of pressure in that, a lot of, again, shame and guilt in that because we see all these other people, whether they're actually doing it or not, actually succeeding and following this one thing, this one passion that they have. Like this person is so diligent and they always sit down and work on their craft from 9 to 5 every day and they love it. And we're just like, we sit down for 10 minutes and we're like, okay, I've imagined where that goes. I want to go play with another idea. So what can we do? What can we do? We'll go this way. I can't draw arrows. So we can rank things actually by our values, by what is important to us. If you have a list of your top 3 to 10 values, I would suggest 3, then it's easier to make a decision to see if the idea is in alignment with that. You want to write a new book. Is it really aligned with your values? If it is, then pursue that and really attach it to what is important to you. If you write this book, when you write this book, who is it going to help? If your value is like caring or supporting people, who is it going to help? How is it going to help them? Zoom in really small, get like this magnifying glass look at who is the actual one person that you are helping or hurting with when you do or do not do this thing. Add emotion to it. And that will help you rank your ideas and follow the ideas that are more compelling to you without getting so distracted. Now, you might still get distracted, and that's part of life. That's part of our personality type. There's always going to be new ideas, and that's why we are the innovating souls, as I call it. That's why we have this curiosity and this power to actually change and impact the world, because we have so much curiosity and care And it is helpful if we follow through with some of the ideas. So if you rank them or attach them to your emotions and your values, you're going to have a better time. Okay? Next, let's look at the explorer and the soul working together. The explorer, again, is about new ideas, new possibilities, and the soul is about what is important to us. So we can find what is important to us, as you did in the first step. Find your values, rank your values. The second one, if we're talking about the explorer and the soul working together, we want to think of our identity, what is important to us as a person, like who do we want to be? By the end of our life, we have our eulogy or we're looking back on our life. What kind of person do you want to be? Those identity level statements, I am this kind of person, I am, are something that can motivate you when you don't feel like doing a thing, when you don't feel like organizing your life or cleaning your house or focusing on one job or one idea. These kind of statements are really helpful. They've helped me in so many different fashions. Like, I used to be late a lot, and I switched my identity to be someone who is on time and respectful of other people's time. I am punctual. I am respectful of other people's time. That statement, once I had that in front of me, I was able to do more of it because it's clearly laid out, it's defined, and it feels really bad to go against your identity, against who you are. So have a statement like that. I am organized, or I am becoming more and more organized every day. If you don't want to have a statement that is not true to you yet, an affirmation that is not actually true yet, then you can say, I am becoming X kind of person because I do Y, I do Z. Okay, I am becoming this. It gives you more freedom. It's a present progressive. It gives you more freedom to shape your actions in a way that is going to align with your identity. And the third one, I'm going to call it positivity right now. So I mentioned there's a lot of guilt going back and forth between what we should do, what's expected to us. But you are a unique person with an awesome personality type. You're an INFP, I assume, because you're watching this. And you have so many gifts that you bring to the world. It's just not often seen. And it's also not often shown. We don't really flaunt our gifts a lot. We stay in the back lines, we're behind the scenes, and we're trying to support other people or make things, harmonious. But we don't do it in this big, bombastic, fantastic. I was trying to think of some other rhyming words. We don't make a big deal about it, yeah? But as an INFP character class, you have this awesome ability to understand what somebody is feeling on this super deep level. The human experience, like taken down to the core, because we spend so much time feeling through all of these different thoughts, all of these different experiences. We bring it right into values. What does it mean to be a human? What's important? What are the intentions? We're always thinking about that, and that's a gift. And sometimes I know it feels like a curse, but it is a gift. And I know plenty of people who do not do that. I was telling my mom about that just today. That there's somebody who just annoys me so much because she does not consider other people. And I do. And I find that really important. And I believe you do too. And we also have all these, again, ideas and curiosity and potential for human innovation, for self-expression through art, through music, through stories, all sorts of forms of creativity, knitting, crochet, anything, some sort of self-expression, or, those paintings where somebody can look at it and just feel some emotion from it that they didn't even know that they were capable of. They don't know why they're feeling it, but you've encapsulated it in some form of art. That's amazing. So instead of feeling guilty about not being able to organize your life in the way that you feel you should, how about feeling more proud for being able to be who you are and have all these gifts? Or maybe feel guilty for not sharing them as much as we could. For me, that's motivating to say, I could express this better. I could make another video Might be able to help somebody else get out of my comfort zone a little bit more so that I can live into more of my potential and power. That helps me because I'm using my emotions in a way to motivate myself. I'm using an I am statement. Again, I am the kind of person who makes these videos. I'm a creator. I'm a creative person. I'm a caring person. I want to help other INFPs. And that helps me feel more proud of who I am as a person. So if this has resonated with you and you want more help organizing your life, you got too many ideas and you want some accountability, then you should join Evolve at evolve.geekpsychology.com. There are 92 members in there right now, and most of us are INFPs, and most of us are focusing on getting things done in this way, in a way that is aligned with our personality type and makes us feel good at the end of the day. Hope to see you there. Good luck, have fun. Peace.